Now we have to understand what is happening behind the scenes in the remote access VPN right from the moment when we try to install our agent and when we try to connect. So first, you double click an icon and installation exe, and then you're gonna see three options. You're gonna see endpoint security VPN, you're gonna see Checkpoint Mobile, and you're gonna see secure remote. In my lab, I'm gonna be using Checkpoint Mobile. Once you install an application, what it's gonna do, it's gonna create a virtual interface where in office mode, your virtual private IP address will be assigned. During the first time config, the system is going to ask you about your server address or a domain name. Usually it is an external IP address of your gateway. And once you connect, once you click, once you actually put the external address of your firewall, what's going to happen? Let's see. In the topology on the screen, we have a remote user that is connected to our Checkpoint firewall, and we have internet between them, and we have to make our connection secure. So we are connecting to our external interface of our Checkpoint device, and during that time, the first phase is being built of the VPN. That is called IKE, and the whole point of that is to agree upon encryption keys. We have to exchange our encryption, we have to exchange our lifetime of a tunnel, how long the tunnel will live, hashing, and how we gonna authenticate. Either we're gonna use a certificate or we're going to use a pre-shared secret. In the first phase, we have hashing, authentication, lifetime encryption, and Diffie-Hellman. So right after we proceed to the second phase, which is agreeing upon subnets, we have to assign an office mode. We have to assign a private address to our remote user to be able to route traffic properly when he is connected to VPN. So that is called config mode, and it's being assigned to the virtual adapter that's been installed with an application. The address that is being assigned to that virtual adapter is being configured in general properties of your gateway, and you can find that in VPN clients office mode, and then you choose a parameter that is called allow office mode either to all users or to a certain group, and we can choose a method how office mode will be assigned. It is either from IP assignment conf file with that location, and it's always checked first, but the file is empty by default. So the system is going to move by list to choose the method from where we will assign an IP address. And in my lab, I have IP assignment conf file and how to define it properly to make it work. You can manually define an office mode. What do you have to do? In Smart Console, you create an object, a network, and then you place the network here, over here, below, using one of the following methods. You just place it here, and even though the IP assignment conf is empty, it's going to move to this parameter and use the address you've created. Right after the IP address has been assigned to our virtual adapter, the second phase is being built. This is where we establish a client-to-site type of connection. The whole point here is to agree upon subnets. We define a user pool, their subnets, and we define our encryption domain, and we have to agree on that connection. Apart from this, apart from agreeing on subnets, we have to agree also on hashing, on the lifetime, how long the tunnel will live, how long this second phase of the tunnel will live, and also upon the encryption, what type of encryption will be used for that communication. Also, I want to point out that the last part of my course is called troubleshooting, and on real examples we troubleshoot and find problems in site-to-site type of connection, but it is also applied to what I'm showing you here. We have client-to-site relationship. We have a remote user, which is a client, and we define an encryption domain. This is our site. This is a client-to-site type of relationship. But the point I'm trying to make here is basically in the last section we go over all packets in the phase number 1 and phase number 2. So to have more advanced information, to understand the topic in in a more professional way, you have to check the troubleshooting section as well. Even if you're not working with the site-to-site VPN, go ahead and do that, because it's also applied to client-to-site IPsec. We have already talked about Office Mode and how it works. We'll also touch a little bit about IP assignment conf. What it is a more granular control where and what address will be assigned to a certain user or to a certain group of users. And I've got a whole separate lecture on how to set up IP assignment conf. Remember, it is applied to both your remote access VPN and your mobile access VPN. But in mobile access VPN, we have an applet that is called SNX, which is network extender. It is an extender for SSL type of connection, and the IP assignment conf exists for both for your remote access VPN and for your mobile access VPN. If you are doing that on a cluster, this is really important. You have to, in gateway column, you have to define your physical IP address of the machine. If it is actually a cluster, do not use virtual IP address here. It will not work. Use only physical IP. Let's say if you have 2 nodes in a cluster, an active one and a passive one. An active one is 192.16.10.1 and the passive one 192.16.10.2. You have to put these addresses in a gateway and not the virtual one.